Alrighty, welcome to the first MCR video of the year. It's going to be Introduction to Real Numbers. So there are quite a few different type of categorizations we can have numbers for. As you can see on the left-hand side, there's the names natural, whole, integers, rational, irrational, real, and there is a symbol to represent them each. Essentially, it's a letter with an extra line through it. So let's go ahead and get started. So these are just 1, 2, 3, and so on. No fractions, no decimals. They are the building blocks. Next is whole numbers, and all we have to do is add 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all whole numbers, but we also have to add 0. So that's the only thing that's different from whole numbers into natural numbers. Next, we add negative numbers, like -3, -2, but 3 is also an integer. So integers are whole numbers, natural numbers, and anything that's negative. Rational numbers are just adding fractions in decimals, so -3/2, -0.5, 100/25, 0, anything that's above it, as well as fractions and decimals. And then we have the irrational numbers, which are numbers that cannot be represented as fractions, so they're decimals that never end, or just numbers that never end in general. So for example, pi is 3.14159, so on. E is another number, and 0.5231 ... is also never ending, so it's irrational. And that IR or E rational means not rational. And real numbers are everything that's above, so everything above it are included in real numbers. So we can have a graphic representation where natural numbers are in the middle, and then so on we can build outwards in a circle, but irrational numbers are kind of like their own thing, so we want to give them their own box, but everything is a real number. So what I would like you guys to do now is to write an example of each of the following, and go ahead and pause the video. You just need to come up with an example for each one. Alrighty, so I have some examples here, but yours could be similar or different. So natural we have 5, whole number we have 11, an integer -7, a rational number a fraction of 3/6, an irrational number a decimal that never ends, and a real number could have been literally any number that we have picked. Next, we're going to talk about synonyms or other words that mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So we're going to go ahead and start with addition. So you can see you have plus, add, sum, more than, increase by, anything like that means plus. Some other words we have for subtraction are minus, decrease by, subtract, less than, difference, take away, and these are all subtraction or the minus sign. Some other words we'll see for multiplication are times, multiply, doubled, triple, product, and that is represented by an X or a dot or parentheses, two numbers around parentheses. And then we have division, which we could use the word divide, is what I meant to write, shared equally among, or quotient. Apologize, I should say divide at the top. So here we have a question that asks us to translate the following into an expression. So the first is, what is the sum of 3 and 5? And from the previous page, we know that sum means addition, so you want to add 3 and 5. So it's just asking us to translate the following expression into an expression, but we can add them together and get the answer of 8. The next one is, what is the product of 9 and x? And we know that product from the previous page means multiplication, so we'll write 9 times x. And this is where it's really useful to use a dot instead of an x for product or multiplication, because we want not to confuse x and dots. X's and time symbols, and we can multiply this together to get 9x. And our last example asks us, what is 100 decreased by 6? And we know that decrease means subtraction or minus, so we're going to go ahead and write this in order, 100 minus 6, because we know we're taking away 6 from 100, not 100 from 6. So whatever comes first in the sentence comes first in the algebraic expression, and we can get our final answer of 94. And that's the end of this video.